What's cooking, everybody? Dave Altizer here with Kinotika. Today we're talking about the brand new DJI Osmo Pocket. It's the end of 2018, and yet again we have a new camera to review, this time from DJI. Yes, I said camera, because this is not just a gimbal. It's a combination of a gimbal and a camera, and almost a new take on action cameras. Coming in at $349, it's obvious that DJI is competing heavily with GoPro. GoPro's new GoPro Hero 7 Black, which is called the Gimbal Killer, is coming in at $399. We'll touch on the comparisons between this camera with the GoPro Hero 7 later in this review, and if you want a full comparison of the GoPro and the Osmo, you could click on the eye icon above. We've had the Osmo Pocket now for a couple of weeks, and we've really enjoyed using it. So now, without further ado, let's talk specs. Hey, what's up? No worries. Dude, no worries. The DJI Osmo Pocket is the world's smallest gimbal camera combo, coming in at 0.26 pounds. It's basically nothing. It weighs like what your phone weighs. It's insane. The Osmo has a super quick startup time of around 4 seconds when you hit that power button, meaning that you're gonna probably get the shot when you most want it. The camera on this thing can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second. You heard that right, 4K at 60. Our Canon EOS R can't even do that. The Osmo Pocket has 2 video quality settings, fine and very fine, 2 words that typically describe myself. The Osmo Pocket has something that a lot of other gimbals don't have, and that is an included little tiny little postage stamp screen. And it works. It's super small. The quality of it is not the best in the world. It's a nice little touch screen that you can adjust your settings on. It's functional. What else do you want, Levi Allen? I'm calling you out, Levi. The camera has an 80-degree field of view with a maximum aperture of f2.0. The ISO range is ISO 100 to ISO 3200. The camera can also go down to 8-second exposure time, all the way up to 1/8000th of a second. When it comes to still photography, you can shoot JPEGs and RAW in DNG. And hey, you know, yeah, you can do it, but who's gonna take pictures on a gimbal? Unfortunately, the battery is not removable on this system. However, you can charge the camera while you use it through a USB-C port. You get roughly 2 hours of battery time, which is pretty decent, and the Pocket can charge from 0 to 90% in under an hour, which is great if you have one of those little battery power bricks that you use to charge your phones. Built into the Pocket is a little accessory port that allows you to use Lightning and USB-C, as well as an accessory that's sold separately that gives you the ability to change pan and tilt, as well as 2 function buttons if you don't want to use your phone. There's 2 different types of tracking modes on the Osmo Pocket. One is face tracking, which works amazingly well. You don't have to use a phone, and the camera itself just locks onto your face and not only focuses on your face, but the gimbal itself actually moves along with your face movement, making sure that your face is perfectly centered. If you have the little accessory thing, you can actually adjust the composition of your pan or tilt to have a more dynamic shot rather than just being centered in the middle of the image. In addition to the face tracking mode, we also have the active track mode that we've seen in previous DJI drones. You draw a little square around the object that you want to track, and the gimbal actually moves with that subject. You can cancel the active track at any moment by just pressing the little X on the square, and it works surprisingly well. However, it's not as accurate as the face track mode. There are 3 main gimbal modes on the Osmo Pocket. One, FPV mode, which follows your horizon and every motion that you have, making it look kind of like a video game perspective. Second is the follow mode, which locks horizon but follows all other axes. This is probably the mode that you're going to want to stay in the majority of the time. This mode also has 2 different speeds, slow and fast. If you want those cinematic movements and you don't have anything that's moving quickly in your frame, then the slow setting is probably going to be good enough for you. But if you're trying to follow a dog or somebody running around who looks like Jesus, then make sure to set to fast. And third is the tilt lock mode, which is similar to the follow mode, except the tilt axis doesn't move. The tilt lock mode keeps the camera from drifting away from your subject, giving you a more professional look when you're going from low to high. In addition to the 3 main modes, we have 2 bonus modes. Bonus! The first bonus mode is the story mode, which allows you to shoot in a portrait orientation. This is probably the best implementation of shooting in portrait mode from any manufacturer I've ever seen, because Once the camera is mounted on your phone, it balances really nicely. You can hold it in a really natural way, and you're getting portrait mode stuff completely stabilized with a professional camera. This feature alone is a huge selling point for anybody looking to be a professional influencer. The second bonus mode is undersling mode, which enables when you turn the gimbal upside down. This gives you the ability to get those nice low angle shots and still have perfectly stable footage. All 5 of these modes make the Osmo Pocket one of the most versatile gimbals ever, and it just happens to be the smallest. It's hard to talk about the Osmo Pocket without referencing the GoPro Hero 7 Black, which is called the gimbal killer from GoPro. Of course, this is completely different. I mean, this is a real actual 3-axis gimbal, and this is a real actual action camera. I would never want to just attach this to the side of a car and go 150 down the interstate. But the GoPro, on the other hand, is rugged and designed to withstand a lot more than what this camera can do. When it comes to the price point on these two cameras, coming in at $50 cheaper with the Osmo Pocket, if you're not a true action camera shooter, I would probably go with the Osmo Pocket over the GoPro. We do have an extensive comparison between the Osmo Pocket and the GoPro Hero 7. If you want to see that, click the icon above. All right, this is just a basic vlog test on the Osmo Pocket. Hopefully everything sounds decent. This is all internal audio. This is what the Osmo Pocket sounds like. Hello, test 1, 2, 3. This is what the GoPro Hero 7 Black sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, gonna get run over. The stabilization on the GoPro Hero 7 Black is known for being very, very good. In fact, they call it a gimbal killer. However, the Osmo Pocket is still a gimbal, but it's super small and lightweight. So which one is better for vlogging? I would say the Osmo Pocket ultimately is better because we have a screen and the face tracking feature. Both cameras are set to automatic exposure, so we'll see how that looks. Auto white balance and all the auto settings. So yeah, I'm just looking at both cameras here. How's it look? I don't know. Should look good. Straight out of the box from DJI, we received this little case and a Lightning and USB-C port. In addition to those things, however, you can buy some accessories. This little base right here enables the ability to use Bluetooth on your phone so that you don't have to connect your phone all the time. It also kind of acts as a little stand for the Osmo, which is great because the Osmo doesn't really have feet to allow it to sit properly up. My Ronin S connects over Bluetooth and I've never had any issues with it, so I imagine that this little Bluetooth accessory will work perfectly with the Osmo Pocket. Having the Lightning port and the USB-C port is very handy when you want to connect a phone, but sometimes even having a small phone connected to this thing is still a little too unwieldy. So I personally like to use this additional accessory called the, what do they call it? Control dial accessory. Once you take the Lightning or USB-C port thing off, it slides perfectly in just like this, which gives you the ability to control tilt and pan. In addition to the control dial, we have 2 function buttons that allow you to control some different modes. You can switch between FPV, follow, and tilt lock mode, as well as allowing you to switch between the standard shooting mode and the selfie mode. In addition to these accessories that were given to us by DJI, we've also been told that there are more accessories to come. I really think the Osmo Pocket is truly a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks like a consumer product, but at the end of the day, with d-cinelike picture profile, 4K at 60 frames per second with 100 megabits per second, having the ability to shoot manual with ND filters really makes this camera a professional tool, and I would never hesitate to use this as a B setup to a Ronin S using a mirrorless camera. But if you are a consumer or a vlogger who doesn't care about those high bit rates or flat picture profiles, you can shoot in full automatic modes here and in the normal picture profile and get an amazing image. The face tracking is incredible. It locks perfectly on your face. The screen here works perfectly in selfie mode because the image is mirrored, so you don't get confused when you're watching yourself. You have the amazing Instagram stories mode, and the mic placement on this camera is in the perfect spot for anybody operating the camera. Really makes this the perfect tool for vloggers. If you have $350 burning a hole in your pocket, you're gonna have a hard time rejecting the Osmo Pocket. When you look at the little postage stamp size screen on the front, it's hard to judge exactly what the image quality is of the Osmo Pocket. But as soon as you plug in the footage on your display and look at it back, it's so surprising how high quality the image actually is. Unless you really need super low light video quality, I'm gonna have a hard time deciding whether or not to use a Ronin S or the Osmo Pocket, which is so weird to say because this thing is so tiny. But if you're a wedding shooter and you're running around outside, this may be a better, more useful tool to use than the big heavy gimbal system that you're used to. And if we're being honest, brides aren't gonna know the difference. We really enjoyed putting the Osmo Pocket through its paces, but our sister channel, We Talk UAV, has done a way more extreme test using the Osmo Pocket on a motorcycle. So if that entices you, click the eye icon above or the description below to see that video. We're going to have the Osmo Pocket for much longer, so make sure to comment below and let us know what type of comparisons and content you'd like to see with the Osmo. Once again, I'm Dave Altizer. This is the world's cutest gimbal. See you next time.